Single dad helped old neighbor every day, until the CEO who fired him opened the door instead. The day Owen Mercer lost everything. He never imagined that the smallest act of kindness would become the bridge leading him back to hope. The cardboard box holding his family photos, coffee mug, and a framed drawing from his 8-year-old son felt heavier than any burden he had ever carried. As he walked out of the towering office building under the bright afternoon sun, coworkers avoided his eyes, and the glass doors closed behind him as if erasing the 12 years he had devoted to the company. His son was waiting at school, the rent was due in 2 weeks, and his savings would barely last a month. Yet what hurt the most wasn't losing the paycheck. It was being dismissed without anyone asking about the sacrifices he had made as a widowed father trying to keep his little family together. Before we continue, if you believe kindness and second chances can change lives, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to the Kindness Project. Your support helps us continue sharing stories that remind the world compassion still exists. Every morning after dropping his son Noah at school, Owen searched for jobs across the city. Every afternoon, he returned home disappointed, carrying rejection after rejection hidden behind a gentle smile, so Noah would never lose hope. Despite everything, he never ignored the tiny blue house beside theirs where 90-year-old Eleanor Whitmore lived completely alone. Her children had settled overseas years ago, and while they called often, visits had become painfully rare. Owen noticed her struggling to carry groceries one afternoon, and from that day forward, he quietly made helping her part of his daily routine. He mowed her lawn, repaired loose fence boards, cleaned clogged gutters, replaced light bulbs, carried heavy shopping bags, and shared dinner whenever he cooked something extra. He never accepted $1 in return because he knew loneliness often weighed more than age itself. Daylight became filled with ordinary acts of kindness that no one noticed. After interviews ended in disappointment, Owen would spend another hour trimming Eleanor's roses or fixing another broken cabinet. Noah joined him after school, laughing while watering flowers or reading stories aloud on Eleanor's porch. The old woman often smiled with misty eyes, saying the house had not felt this alive in years. Their friendship slowly became something closer to family. Holidays were shared together. Birthday cakes were baked together. Even when Owen's refrigerator was almost empty, he still found enough to prepare soup for Eleanor because he believed that kindness should never depend on wealth. Weeks turned into months, and the pressure became unbearable. Bills stacked higher. Collection notices appeared in the mailbox. Owen secretly skipped meals so Noah would always have enough to eat. At night, after putting his son to bed, he sat by the kitchen window filling out applications until exhaustion blurred the screen. Some employers called him overqualified. Others wanted younger candidates. A few never responded at all. Still, every morning he put on his cleanest shirt, smiled at Noah, and walked out determined not to let despair become stronger than love. One bright Saturday afternoon, Eleanor failed to answer the door. Owen knocked several times before using the spare key she had trusted him with months earlier. The quiet house felt strangely different. Furniture was covered with sheets, framed photographs had disappeared from the walls, and moving boxes filled the hallway. Confused, he stepped farther inside, wondering whether she had finally decided to move closer to her children. But before he could call out again, another door slowly opened. Standing there was Adrian Holloway, the same CEO who had looked Owen in the eye months earlier and signed the termination papers without hesitation. Time seemed to stop. Owen instantly remembered the polished conference room, the carefully rehearsed apology, and the security badge being taken away. He remembered walking through those office doors feeling like his future had collapsed. And now the man responsible for that heartbreak stood inside Eleanor's home, equally stunned to see him. Neither man expected this meeting beneath the warm daylight pouring through the living room windows. Adrian looked different outside the office. The expensive suit was gone, replaced by simple clothes. His face carried exhaustion that no amount of wealth could hide. Before Owen could leave, Eleanor slowly entered from the kitchen carrying tea. Her smile remained calm, as though she had quietly expected this moment all along. Only then did Owen learn the truth that changed everything. Eleanor Whitmore was Adrian's grandmother. As Eleanor gently described everything Owen had done, Adrian's expression slowly crumbled beneath the weight of guilt. He learned how Owen repaired storm damage without being asked, How he canceled interviews to stay beside Eleanor after she caught the flu. How Noah celebrated every birthday with her because she had no grandchildren nearby. Most painfully, Adrian discovered that all of this happened after Owen had already lost his job at Adrian's company. For the first time in years, Adrian realized that while he had built successful businesses, he had neglected the relationships that mattered most. Numbers on spreadsheets had become more important than people. Efficiency had replaced compassion. Sitting in his grandmother's modest living room, surrounded by evidence of Owen's quiet generosity, success suddenly felt strangely empty. Owen accepted only after making one condition. Every employee should be treated with dignity, even during difficult business decisions. Adrian agreed immediately, understanding that real leadership begins with humanity. The greatest reward wasn't the restored career or financial security. It was watching kindness ripple outward into hundreds of lives that would never know how it all began, with one lonely elderly neighbor and one struggling father who refused to stop caring. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with your friends and family, subscribe to the Kindness Project, and tell us your thoughts in the comments. Your support allows these inspiring stories of hope and compassion to reach even more people around the world. Special request, comment below. Kindness always comes back. As the evening sunlight painted the neighborhood in warm golden colors, Owen realized something beautiful. The job he lost had once felt like the end of his story, but it had quietly become the beginning of a far greater purpose. Sometimes life closes one door so that kindness can open another, and when it does, the people waiting on the other side may be the very ones whose hearts needed changing the most. True success is never measured by wealth or titles. It is measured by the lives we lift, the compassion we share, and the hope we leave behind long after we are gone.